Hey guys, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the massive rally that Bitcoin has just witnessed. We dropped all the way down to 111.6 earlier this morning, and it looked like that Bitcoin was going to begin its drop down to about $105,000, as we said would occur if we had a conclusive break below 112. Instead of doing that, Bitcoin rallied almost $5,000 up to a local recent high of 117,000, and this happened because of Jerome Powell's speech at the Jackson Hole Summit that happens every single year. He signaled a dovish stance in that speech that we are almost certainly going to see some rate cuts coming on the United States Federal Open Market Committee effective federal funds rate at some point in the near-term future. As I said, this has led to a major rally on Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about this major rally of almost 5% in less than 2 hours right now. So without much further ado, let's get started. As we've talked about on Bitcoin recently, we have been witnessing a very important corrective movement below this uptrend. This uptrend has acted as the safety line for this entire impulse to the upside. Ever since we bottomed out at $74,000, it has guided Bitcoin all the way up to $125,000. In trading, when you fall beneath a safety line such as this one, that's typically a sell signal. And so many of you guys, including myself, have been deeply concerned that Bitcoin was going to revisit the daily chart point of control sitting here at $105,000. We really needed some kind of bullish catalyst to reverse this corrective movement, and at the moment, it looks like we may be getting that. However, my first point here is that it's too early to tell. We don't know for sure that Bitcoin is going to go into a new uptrend. We need to see more confirmation of that. At the time of recording this, Bitcoin has been in an uptrend for less than 2 hours, where it's been in a downtrend for about 10 days. So we want to see if Bitcoin's actually going to be able to hold on to this growth, as we'll be looking at here in just a moment. Okay, so the good news is here, down on the hourly chart, Bitcoin was in the middle of being just about to break beneath 112K. If we go ahead and draw a line here at $112,000, then you will see that we were actually putting a great deal of pressure on it. Down on the 5-minute chart, you can see that we tested $112,000 no fewer than 4 times yesterday, and this morning we tested it a great number of times as well, as people were very scared that Jerome Powell was going to speak hawkishly, indicating that we would not be seeing any kind of rate changes, any kind of policy changes in coming FOMC meetings. Instead, Jerome Powell kind of surprised everybody and actually became more dovish. This was against what we expected from him, considering he's been very hawkish on the rates as a result of the jobs numbers, as a result of inflation, as a result of a number of different things. He's been very concerned about these factors, which has led him to come off as very much hawkish and not interested in a rate cut. Now that we have this contrary idea of a rate cut, Bitcoin completely moonshotted. A lot of shorts got liquidated. If we were to look up the short liquidations, I would estimate they're over 100 million right now. And we also, on the hourly chart, are building some beautiful RSI divergence. We talked about this in the Discord server yesterday, and I think we actually mentioned it on the stream, or on the video here, that we had a downtrending level of support here on the bottoms for Bitcoin, and we have this uptrending level of support here on RSI. That's why 112 was the make it or break it. If Bitcoin could hold $112,000, then technically our bullish stance has remained intact, and from a daily chart perspective, all we are looking at is one massive bull flag that's going to send us up to $135,000 sometime in September to October. However, if Bitcoin was unable to hold 112, and really the decision was here at this Jackson Hole meeting, then we were going to drop below $112,000, and our prediction was that Bitcoin would drop as low as $100,000, most likely down to the point of control around 105. Now, as I said, the good news is that's not what happened. Bitcoin has now set a very confident bottom at 112, and it does not at the current moment seem that Bitcoin is going to need to drop down to $100,000, which is a fantastic piece of news. It allows all of our bull market support moving averages, such as the 300 and the 400 daily simple moving average, to march ever higher, solidifying $100,000 of support that very well may not be revisited until the bear market, if one should ever come. This gives us incredible confidence that we're going to see a very, very, very bullish Q4. We already expected that. Now we expect it even more. The last time we dropped down to 112, Bitcoin fell very quickly, and we rallied relatively slowly. As you can see, our descent down to 112 was much steeper even than our current descent down to 112, and our ascent away from 112 was actually shallower than what we're seeing right here. This helps us to understand the strength of the bulls and the bears. The bulls seemingly are stronger today, especially in the last 2 hours, than they were back here, which indicates that 112 this time possibly is actually acting as a stronger level of support than it did in the last cycle. Now, that is only because of what just happened with Jackson Hole. We could not have predicted that because yesterday, this correction down to 112 looks significantly stronger for the bears and weaker for the bulls than it did the last time we revisited down here. However, with Bitcoin breaking this bearish short safety line right here, and then on the shorter term time frame also breaking this short-term bearish short safety line and just absolutely exploding, this gives us the strongest bounce off of 112 that we could possibly hope for. Bitcoin rallied almost $5,000 in the span of just a couple of short hours. And so this gives us a strong reversal down here at 112 and gives us breathing room, which means we would really need some kind of very bearish signal to drive us back below 112 at this point. Now, with that said, I do want to caution you because it is too early to say that Bitcoin is just in this meteoric uptrend, and that's because this actually happens every year. As you will see here, in 2023, the Jackson Hole speech led to an almost immediate major rally and then dump. It happened a couple of days later, but it did end up happening, as you can see right here. In 2024, we had a dovish stance similar to what we see right now, and we saw a major pump for 3 days, and then Bitcoin would slide from $66,000 down to $52,000. The question now becomes, are we going to see that same kind of pump and dump? By the way, this chart was taken from Twitter and it was posted in our Discord server. If you want instructions to get into our Discord server, our trading and investing group for free, hang on to the end of the video. Now, the question becomes, is this going to be a pump and dump? I have told our signals group, our trading group, that this is a very dangerous time to enter into a long trade because we need to see a back test of confirmation. When you enter into a long trade on Bitcoin, it is normal to wait not for the impulse breakout, but for the back test and the conversion of previous resistance into support. We talked about yesterday about this level of resistance right here at $114,700. And we talked about how Bitcoin would need to break through it and back test it before we could get any kind of serious confidence that Bitcoin was going to go into a new uptrend because we had tested it as support, fallen beneath it, tested it as resistance, and fallen lower. I would like now to see Bitcoin round over, back test 115, and set a serious higher low, which would give us a very strong impulse safety line here that would help to underpin this new uptrend. Bitcoin can't just go vertical straight to 124. It's going to have to establish a trend. And to establish a trend, Bitcoin is going to need a correction. Once we build that correction, then that gives us our set point here for the uptrend of support. We have our pivot point right here this morning at 112. Now we need our set point. Once we bounce here and then break the local high, this kind of situation right here would be the entry that we're looking for. So once again, I'm just going to draw that to make that very simple for you guys who are looking to go into swing long trades to long back up to all-time high. If you got an entry at the Jackson Hole speech, good for you. If you didn't, you're going to want to wait for some kind of confirmation. One kind of confirmation could be a falling over, and then a rally, and then a break of structure for an entry, something like right here. That's what you could do. You could also just go into a low leverage long, like a 10x long right now. Keep your liquidation price down below 112 and then hold that. That is a viable strategy as well. Just make sure that you're very careful because you would be risking a sizable portion of your trade at this point, considering we are already 4% away from the bottom. If you were to go into a leverage long, say 10x right now, you'd be risking 40% if you put your stop loss right below 112. So regardless of how you play it, the point is this is probably the beginning of the next leg up, and unless we see some kind of serious bearish price action, I generally expect that Bitcoin, one way or another, even if we fall over first and then set a new uptrend, I generally expect one way or another that Bitcoin is going to begin its ascent towards revisiting all-time high, which is why from the investment side of things, I am loading up on as much Bitcoin as I possibly can. The main reason that Bitcoin had a sustained correction here was not just the CME futures gap. That was just what caused it. It was not PPI. It was not strategies, MNAV guidance. I'm not worried about MNAV over on strategy. They're about to be included in the S&P 500. That's going to massively increase stock price, which is going to massively increase market capitalization, which is going to massively fix the MNAV situation. It's not a problem whatsoever. Okay. What I was concerned about was us having no rate cuts until Jay Powell leaves office next year. That is now gone, which means all four of the catalysts for this correction have vanished. CME futures gap up here was filled. PPI, who freaking cares anymore? We're going to have rate cuts most likely. We had the MNAV concern from strategy. If you know, you know. And then we also had the concern of no rate cuts in September. all of the bearish catalysts are virtually gone. So if you're going to go into a long trade right now, I stand with you. I am now bullish once again. We may have a corrective movement and a buy the rumor, sell the news event. So we might fall over back down to 114 to 115, but I expect a strong bounce from there, which will send Bitcoin back to all-time high at this point. And right now, I am very bullish on Bitcoin. And I do not, at this point in time, following this announcement, see any likelihood of $105,000 Bitcoin. That said, should we break below 112, our position would remain the same, that a drop down to $105,000 would most likely occur. Again, if we break the support between 110 and 112, although at this point in time, that seems extremely, extremely unlikely. I think right now we are going to be beginning to build a major rally that will send us back towards all-time high. And so I consider this a massive win for longs. I consider this a massive win for the Bitcoin investor. And I consider this a massive win for the Bitcoin bull market. And I think that this gives us a great entry for investment to dump cash in for the long term, and to be a little bit more risk on, because now it looks like the all-time high will almost certainly break since we've had a double bottom with strength off of 112. That gives us a springboard from which we can launch higher up towards our eventual price target of $135,000 to $150,000. If you would like to trade these movements with us, by the way, just a couple of minutes after Bitcoin exploded, we were talking about it in the Discord server. And over there, if you didn't know what was going on, why is Bitcoin rallying? If you were in the first cohort, you would have known, because I told you and some of the other people in the chat told you exactly what was going on. You got that signal very early on in the first cohort Discord server. So if you'd like to join FCTG, the first cohort trading group, which is where you're going to get access to me almost 24/7. I'm always answering questions over here, and our group of almost 200 people at this point. There's 31 people online right now, 131 offline. So we're up to about 162 people in the Discord server in just about a month and a half. People are joining all the time. Look at all these people joining every single day. This is just in the last like 48 hours. We've had like 10 people join. If you want to join the first cohort trading group where we show you our investments, I show you my trades, my entries, my technical analysis, I'm able to be much quicker in the Discord server because all I got to do is type and then boom, you've got information. It's that simple. It's really, really fast. I mean, I make a video and it's got to go out a few hours later. It's just that there's a delay there. Discord is where I put all of my up-to-the-minute calls, signals, and it's also where you get access to these videos early. Right now it's 12:05 p.m. This video will be out in about 10 minutes in the Discord server, about 2 hours before you're going to see it on YouTube. So if you want up-to-the-minute information from me and some of the best traders in the cryptocurrency game, then I want you to sign up for the first cohort. And I'm going to give it to you for free because I love you. Normally it's $419 a year or $49 a month. That said, if you sign up for 2Bit, which is the exchange where we do all of our trading. I've been trading on 2Bit this morning. This is where we just did some investments, right? If you sign up for 2Bit and deposit $100, I'm going to give you access to the first cohort trading group for free for a year. All you have to do is send a screenshot of your $100 deposit to MalachiPats@CryptoJeb.com, and we will give you a coupon code to sign up for the first cohort over in Teachable. And after you sign up for the first cohort over in Teachable, after we give you the coupon code for free for a year, then we are going to give you the Discord server link and you can join. All you got to do, take a screenshot, sign up, take a screenshot of the $100, send it to MalachiPats@CryptoJeb.com. That's MALAKIPATZ@CryptoJeb.com. Links in the description box down below. Just check down there. It's in the block of text down there about this promotion. And we will give you access to the first cohort for free for a year. After that, it'll be $419, and you're going to want to pay it because you're going to make your money back. We've got people making thousands of dollars over there. I mean, look at the Discord server. Look at these trades. Look at some of these trades. This person up 10x, 10x long on Bitcoin, up 17%. This person just longed ADA, up 141%. This person shorted ADA and closed it out on time. Sorry, shorted Bitcoin, closed it out on time, made 61%. There's all kinds of winning trades over here. Up 87% on an ADA short, right? These are, I just want to brag about all the people in our group that are just killing it. 30x short on ETH a few days ago, made 60%. These people are killing it. Trading. And so if you want to join the trading group and learn how to trade, learn how to make money, learn how to invest, all you got to do is sign up for 2Bit and you can get in for free. But when you deposit $100, you're also going to get $30 for free in rewards. When you sign up, you'll also get a $50 welcome bonus. And when you do $1,000 of trading in perps, you will double that $50 bonus into $100. So you can actually turn $100 into $230 in like 5 minutes over on 2Bit. And we will give you access to the Discord server for free for a year. All you got to do is sign up, deposit $100, and Give me your word that's where you're going to do your trading, and we will give you access to the Discord server for free, where I will give you up-to-the-minute information whenever it comes across my desk. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, stay tuned for more content, and buy the frickin' dip. I bought the dip yesterday. We had an average price on a lot of our entries and investments down at 112.8. I was so happy about that. I'm so happy now that we started buying the dip down there. If you want to learn more, make sure to subscribe to the channel, share this piece of content with someone that you think would find it valuable, and before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.